Hello everyone and welcome to Module 6, Digital Communication. In this lesson, we will learn how to communicate clearly and safely using digital tools. We will talk about messaging apps, video calls, online manners, and how to contact schools, offices, health services, and other institutions. Digital communication is part of daily life. We use it to speak with family, teachers, public offices, doctors, employers, and organizations. Because of this, it is important to know how to write clear messages, choose the right tool, and protect our personal information. Today, we will practice simple and useful communication skills step by step. Today, we will learn simple communication skills for daily life. First, we will talk about messaging apps such as WhatsApp or similar apps and how to use them responsibly. Second, we will learn about video calls and how to use the microphone, camera, chat, and leave buttons correctly. Third, we will discuss digital manners. This means being polite, respectful, and clear online. We will also learn how to communicate with schools, public offices, health services, and organizations. Finally, we will practice writing messages that are easy to understand and less likely to cause confusion. Digital communication means using devices and the internet to share messages, information, and ideas. We can communicate digitally in many ways. We can send text messages, voice notes, photos, and documents. We can also make voice calls or video calls. Digital communication is useful for speaking with family and friends, but also for official contact. For example, we may need to contact a school, a public office, a health service, or an organization. The main idea is this: digital communication is useful when it is clear, respectful, and safe. Messaging apps are very useful, but we should use them carefully. Before sending a message, stop and think. Could this message hurt someone? Could it confuse someone? Could it be misunderstood? We should also protect privacy. Do not share private phone numbers, home addresses, ID documents, or personal photos in public groups. Another important rule is not to forward everything. Sometimes people send false information, old information, or messages designed to create fear. Before forwarding, check if the information is true. In group chats, stay on topic and avoid arguments. A group chat should help communication, not create stress. Here we can see the basic parts of a messaging app. Usually we see the contact name or group name at the top, then we see the message text. Sometimes there may be a photo, voice message, or document attached. At the bottom, there is usually a place to type the message and a send button. Before pressing send, always check three things. Are you sending the message to the correct person or group? Is your message clear? And are you sharing anything private? This small check can prevent many mistakes. Video calls help us speak with family, teachers, offices, and services when we cannot meet face-to-face. Before joining a video call, check your internet connection, battery, and sound. Try to sit in a quiet place where you can hear and speak clearly. During the call, use the microphone and camera correctly. Listen carefully and do not speak at the same time as others. After the call, write down important information such as dates, times, names, or documents you need to prepare. Video calls are easier when we prepare before the meeting. Before joining a video call, it is useful to know the basic buttons. The microphone button turns your sound on and off. If you are not speaking, it is polite to turn off your microphone. This reduces background noise. The camera button turns your video on and off. You can turn it on if needed and if you feel comfortable. The chat button allows you to write short questions or messages during the call. The leave button is used when the meeting is finished. Knowing these buttons helps us feel more confident during video calls. Respect online is the same as respect face-to-face. When writing messages, use polite words such as hello, please, and thank you. Be patient. People may not reply immediately because they may be working, studying, driving, or busy with family. Avoid writing everything in capital letters. In online communication, capital letters can look like shouting. Stay respectful, even when you disagree. It is possible to disagree without insulting someone. Good digital manners help us build better communication. A clear message saves time and avoids confusion. A good message usually has 5 parts. First, write a greeting. Second, say who you are. Third, explain what you need. Fourth, include important details such as date, time, class, document, or appointment. Fifth, say thank you. For example, hello teacher, I am Ali's mother. I would like to ask about tomorrow's meeting. What time should parents arrive? Thank you. This message is clear because the teacher knows who is writing, what the question is, and what information is needed. Let's compare 2 messages. The first message says, I need help. Call me. This message is unclear. The person does not know what kind of help is needed, how urgent it is, or when to call. The second message says, hello, I need help filling in the school form. Are you available tomorrow after 15:00? This is better because the need is clear. The topic is clear. The suggested time is also clear. When we write clearly, the other person can help us more easily. Digital messages can help parents and adults contact schools, public offices, health services, and organizations. For school, we may ask about meetings, homework, attendance, documents, or announcements. For public offices, we may ask about appointments, forms, required papers, or procedures. For health services, we may ask about appointment information, opening hours, or what documents to bring. When contacting institutions, we should write politely and clearly. We should include only necessary information and avoid very long messages. We should choose the right tone for the situation. Informal messages are used with family and close friends. For example, hi, I will be late. See you soon. Formal messages are used with schools, offices, doctors, employers, or institutions. For example, dear sir, madam, I would like to request information about my appointment. The message should match the relationship. A message to a friend can be relaxed, but a message to a school or office should be polite and complete. This helps the receiver understand that the message is serious and respectful. A good request is short, polite, and specific. First, say who you are. For example, my name is, or I am the parent of. Second, explain what you need. For example, I would like to ask about, or I need information about. Third, suggest a time or ask for available options. Fourth, add your contact information if needed. Finally, say thank you. A polite request increases the chance of receiving a clear and helpful answer. This slide gives us a useful message template. You can adapt this message for a school, public office, health service, or organization. The message begins with Dear Sir, Madam, which is polite and formal. Then you introduce yourself. My name is. After that, you explain what you need. I would like to ask about the documents needed for. Then you ask clearly. Could you please send me the information or tell me where I can find it? At the end, you say thank you and write your name. This kind of message is simple, polite, and useful. Many online problems happen because messages are too short, emotional, or unclear. Before sending a message, read it again. Check names, dates, times, and attachments. Use simple words and short sentences. This is especially important when writing to schools, offices, or people who may not know you well. Do not reply when angry. If you are upset, wait a little, calm down, and then write respectfully. You can also ask for confirmation. For example, did I understand correctly? Or can you please confirm the time? This helps avoid mistakes. Voice messages can be useful, but they are not always the best choice. Voice messages are useful when it is easier than typing, when the message is personal, when the other person can listen, and when the message is short. However, voice messages are not always good for official communication. If dates, numbers, addresses, or documents are important, written messages are usually better because the receiver can read and check the information. Also, avoid very long voice messages. They can be difficult to follow. Before sharing photos or documents, check what is inside them. Ask yourself, does this photo or document show personal data, ID numbers, home address, phone number, school name, or private family information? Always check that you are sending the file to the right person. Use clear file names. For example, school form Ali PDF is better than document 1 PDF because it is easier to understand. Avoid sharing private documents in public groups. If a document is private, send it only to the correct person or use a secure upload system. Different situations need different communication tools. For a quick family message, a messaging app is usually fine. For an official request, email or an official form is better. For an urgent problem, a phone call may be the best choice. For a meeting with a teacher, a video call or face-to-face meeting may be suitable. For sending a document, email, or a secure upload system is usually safer. Choosing the right channel helps us communicate more effectively. Let's remember some safe communication habits. First, check the contact. Are you writing to the correct person? Second, do not share passwords. No teacher, bank, or public office should ask for your password in a chat message. Third, be careful with links. If you receive an unknown link, ask before opening it. Fourth, keep evidence. Save important messages, confirmations, appointment details, and receipts. Finally, ask for help if something feels wrong. It is better to ask early than to have a bigger problem later. Now it is time to practice. First, write a short message to a teacher. Remember to include a greeting, who you are, what you need, important details, and thank you. Second, practice joining a sample video call. Try turning the microphone and camera on and off. Third, choose the best channel for a request. Should it be a message, email, phone call, video call, or official form? Fourth, improve an unclear message and make it clearer. Finally, check a message before sending it. The purpose is to practice real-life communication. Let's summarize the key messages from this module. Digital communication is easier when we are clear, respectful, safe, practical, and confident. Be clear. Say who you are and what you need. Be respectful. Use polite words and avoid angry replies. Be safe. Protect personal data and check contacts before sending. Be practical. Choose the right tool for each situation. Be confident. Practice small messages every week. Small practice can make digital communication much easier. This is the end of Module 6, Digital Communication. This week, try one small practice activity. You can send one clear message, join one video call, or write a polite request for information. The goal is not to be perfect immediately. The goal is to become more confident step by step. Thank you very much for your participation. Welcome to Module 6 on Digital Communication, where we explore messaging apps, video calls, and clear online communication. Today we'll learn essential communication skills for daily life, including using messaging apps, making video calls, and practicing digital manners. Digital communication involves using devices and the internet to share messages, information, and ideas effectively. Using messaging apps responsibly means thinking before sending, protecting privacy, and using groups respectfully. Understand the basics of messaging apps, including sender, time, message, and attachments. Video calls help us connect with family, teachers, and services. Prepare before, engage during, and follow up after the call. Familiarize yourself with video call buttons like microphone, camera, chat, and leave to ensure smooth communication. Respect online communication as you would face-to-face by being polite, patient, and respectful. Sending clear messages saves time and avoids confusion. Use a clear message formula for effective communication. Compare unclear and clear messages to understand the importance of clarity in communication. Communicate effectively with schools and institutions by asking about meetings, forms, and appointments. Choose the right tone for your message, whether informal with friends or formal with institutions. Requesting appointments or information online involves clear steps. Identify yourself, explain your need, and say thank you. Here's an example of requesting information adaptable for schools, offices, or health services. Avoid misunderstandings online by reading before sending, using simple words, and confirming understanding. Voice messages can be useful, but are not always the best choice. Consider the context before using them. Share photos and documents safely by checking privacy, sending to the right person, and using clear file names. Choose the best communication channel for each situation, whether it's a messaging app, email, or phone call. Develop safe communication habits by checking contacts, being careful with links, and keeping evidence. Practice communication with real-life examples like writing messages, joining calls, and choosing the right channels. Key messages for digital communication include being clear, respectful, safe, practical, and confident. As we conclude Module 6, remember to practice by sending a clear message, joining a video call, or writing a polite request.